Hey guys, so we read the story A Lion in the Bedroom, and now we're going to do a activity to write a summary over that passage. And just to remind you, a summary is just what happened in the story in your own words. So we want to make sure that we include the main characters, what happened in the beginning, in the middle, and the end of the story. And we're going to use our own words to explain this. So I have a little graphic organizer that I like to use to help us kind of organize this in our brains and then be able to write a paragraph summarizing what we just read. So I'm going to do the graphic organizer with you, and then I will post a picture of it, and you guys can use that to help you guys write your paragraph, your summarizing paragraph over this passage. And you guys can either write it on notebook paper and keep it with your packet to turn in, or you guys can type it up on a Google Doc and share it with me. Just make sure that you click the blue share button and type in Amy Klein, C-L-I-N-E. So I will go ahead and start this for you guys. Be patient with me. This is my first time doing anything like this. So I'm going to share with you this graphic organizer. Okay, so the first box here is the title. The title of our story was A Lion in the Bedroom. And excuse any typos as I'm trying to navigate all this. Okay, so that's the title of the story that we read. Then we want to, we're going to add, hold on. We're going to add the characters. The main characters are the important ones. So we need to go ahead and list those. I know we had mom. I'm going to capitalize mom. We had dad. The little boy's name, his name was James. And then we had the neighbors. Oh my goodness, and we cannot forget there was another character. Sometimes we don't think of this type of thing as a character because it's not a person. But remember, a character can be anything in a story that is alive and talking. So in this story, the lion is also a main character. And then we need to add, let's see here. Mrs. Klein could figure this out. Okay, so what happens in the beginning of the story? We started off and we had, let me go back to the story real quick. I think it'll let me still share my screen. Let me see. It says, when James woke up, he found a lion sleeping on the floor next to his bed. Because he was 5 years old, he thought this was awesome. Okay, so that's what I thought that said. Okay, so what we're going to do for the beginning is we're simply just going to tell kind of what happened at the beginning of this story. So we can say, James woke up and found a lion in his bedroom. If you guys want to add more detail, you most certainly can. I'm going to just keep it simple, especially for this first week, and just put one sentence in each thing. But again, you guys can definitely add more. So I'm just going to keep it very basic though. James woke up and found a lion in his bedroom. You could say James, a 5-year-old, woke up and found a lion in his bedroom. Either way is fine with me. Then we need to go ahead and add what happens in the middle of the story. Now you guys can keep going back and forth if you want in between the story. I'm not going to because I think it pauses my share screen. But I'm going to go ahead and start typing what happened in the middle of this story. We know that James went downstairs and to his mom and dad, and he tried to convince them that there was a lion in his bedroom. And did they believe him at first? They did not. He really had to try to convince them, and he talked about what he wanted to name the lion. He talked about naming it Trixie the Second because he had a pet cat previously that was named Trixie. So he thought maybe he could name this one Trixie the Second. He went through a couple different names that he thought of before the end of the story, but that was basically what happened in the middle of the story. So now we just have to write a sentence about that. So I'm just going to say James tried to convince his parents that there was a lion in his bedroom. And then I'm going to go ahead and also say that his dad decided to go look to see if there was a lion. His dad, let's see, we could say after much, no, sorry, I didn't capitalize there. I'll just say his dad finally decided to grab a mop and look in James' room. Okay, so that is what happens in the middle. Then we are going to add what happens at the end of the story. Let me try to grab this text box. Oops. Okay, so what happens at the end of the story? Well, we know that Dad came running out of the house. He pushed them all out of the house. They made a big spectacle for the whole neighborhood to see. And the neighbors ended up coming over. They didn't know what to do. And then at the very, very end, the lion came out and actually talked to them and told them to quiet down so he could continue to rest. So I'm just going to kind of sum that up for you guys. I'm going to say that James' dad discovered the lion in James's room and pushed the entire family. Miss Klein can't type right now. Family out of their house. The neighbors came to see what was wrong. In the end, the lion came out of the house and asked them all to be quiet. Okay, so this is a little bit lengthier than I was wanting it to be, but you all know that Mrs. Klein gets a little wordy sometimes. You guys can go ahead and then use this graphic organizer. Use some of the sentences that I did, and you guys can type them, like I said, in a Google Doc and send it to me, or you can write it out, either way. And then that is all of your reading for all of your reading assignment for day one. So for week one, day one, for those of you that have this story. A Lion in the Bedroom. And I will be posting some more stories soon about for some of the other packets that some of you have. Okay? I will talk to you guys later, and I miss you all. Bye.